Yo, this is crazy. Candace Owens recently posted this picture on her Twitter of her and Kanye West wearing shirts that say, "White Lives Matter." What's truly crazy about this is white lives have mattered so much in this country and for so long that it does not need to be stated. That's how powerful this system of white insecurity, aka white supremacy, is. You don't have to say it, you don't have to utter a word. It's already understood. It's implied. Every system in this country is based on the standard of whiteness. It's based on the presupposition that white lives matter more than others.
Kanye West's White Lives Matter shirt received warranted reactions.
But it's not true. It's not a fact. It's a social construct. But it's been enforced so much and so often over the past 400 to 500 years that people think it's just a natural order of things. And this 1682 law enforced that illusion. Legislation from that time period enforced the lie that white lives matter more than others. And that's the problem.
Including from one of my favorite follows on social media right here.
Kanye, Ye, whoever you are, I am sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Kanye West does not care about black people. Hi, my name is Pablo, and to quote my friend Shaheem, I'm wishing Kanye nothing but the worst. Listen, I have no problem with Kanye West wearing whatever the he wants to wear. I have no problem with him having an opinion on the state of politics right now. But at this point, it's clear that he's using the division within the country to draw attention to himself and his ass clothes.
One of my favorite music critics, Pablo.
And we're his supporters. We are the ones who are supposed to feel bad for Kanye when, you know, the white men at Gap are not taking him seriously, or when Adidas is trying to play him. You know, we're the ones who are like, oh, Kanye, we have your back. And then, okay, white lives matter, though.
Midterm season is upon us. Democrats are dangerously close to losing both the House and the Senate. And this is just my theory, but I believe the GOP is breaking off Kanye a little piece just to do some low-key marketing. And I say that because look at who he's with. And if you don't know, that's Candace Owens, another black paid representative of the GOP.
And we have Miss Candace here, which we're going to stop there. We're going to stop there.
The biggest issue with him wearing the shirt isn't even really that it will upset black people, because we all know it will. But it's the fact that he knows the influence and power he has over a lot of white young men, and how his antics will embolden their racism. It's annoying and it's shameful, but most importantly, it's dangerous.
And y'all still gonna listen to this man's music. And that's cool, but like, I don't know, like, so I don't listen to R. Kelly, but I just feel like at this point, if you listen to Yeezy, that's fine, do you? But I think you, like, if you still listen to Yeezy, I think you should show some humility when talking about people who listen to R. Kelly. I just don't think that is your lane.
If you think that I'm about to come out my bonnet and be irate over Kanye West and Candace Owens wearing White Lives Matter shirts, baby, you would be mistaken. I've said it time and time and time again. Baby, Kanye is who Kanye is. And we know this. So I'm not getting out of character. I'm not mad. I'm not upset. I know baby. I'm not none of those things, because that's who Kanye is. Period. So enjoy or not. It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter.
You know what? Maybe Quentin has the right perspective on this. However, here's the backstory. Billboard wrote of Kanye West's Yeezy Season 9 debut at a surprise Paris Fashion Week show. He was photographed wearing a long-sleeve shirt with White Lives Matter emblazoned on the back. As the outlet notes, the racist phrase was widely adopted for years by neo-Nazi and white supremacist groups in response to the BLM movement. In response, Jason Lee, West's head of media and partnerships for the Yeezy fashion designer, resigned from his position after the West Candace Owens photo op with the WLM shirt. This really is not much of a surprise if you've been following along.
With a Make America Great Again hat, West went all hero worship on the president.
When I put this hat on, it made me feel like Superman.
He pulled this charade in 2018, shortly after that.
When you hear about slavery for 400 years, for 400 years, that sounds like a choice.
He called slavery a choice shortly after in the TMZ newsroom. Prior to the 2020 election, West announced he was running for president. He went on the record saying he would not be running as a Republican nor as a Democrat. but that he was creating his own party, the birthday party. One political branding strategist put it like this: the reason why the Trump campaign worked Kanye West via Elon Musk, though, is he can still siphon off tens of thousands of votes via write-in because he's a celebrity. He doesn't need ballot access. This is especially true among young black men who in polling are a softer demo for Biden/Dems. Like I've been saying this whole time, their plan is and has always been a strategy of vote subtraction. There was the story of Kanye West's former publicist pressing a Georgia election worker to confess to Donald Trump's baseless voter fraud claims or face dire consequences. The publicist told the election worker she was a crisis manager and was sent from a high-profile individual, according to a police report included in the court filing. Then there's also, of course, Candace Owens.
I actually usually go after LeBron because I think it's important for him with the platform that he has. And I think that, to be clear, LeBron is a well-meaning person. I don't think LeBron means to do bad. I just don't think he's that smart. I really do. I think LeBron James is low IQ.
She called LeBron James low IQ, which is a simple copy-paste from what her inspiration Donald Trump said of the NBA Hall of Famer.
The consequence of the Black Lives Matter movement, and I cringe when people call it Black Lives Matter protests, because you know what, Tucker, it is Black Lives Matter riots.
She said the following of the 2020 protests, which research has shown simply debunks the right-wing talking point used by Owens and many others. She has also been stumping for Vladimir Putin. Not too surprising when we saw CPAC's tweet from this past week. Like many others on the right, she has been conspiratorial in regards to January the 6th, when supporters of the former president tried to overthrow American democracy and stormed the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., a far cry from Owens since her previous work in 2016. She oversaw a website that suggested 45 has a wiener the size of an infant, her words, and compared him to that Nazi. Just 3 years later, she suggested the biggest problem with that Nazi was that he dreamed too big. If that Nazi just wanted to make Germany great and have things run, well, okay, fine, Owens would state. The problem is he had dreams outside of Germany. He wanted to globalize. Owens regularly traffics in misinformation, hypocrisy, and just straight up getting facts wrong. She repeatedly maligned Ahmaud Arbery, once writing he was not gunned down for the crime of being black, an assertion that even earned her the ire of other black Republicans, and a strangely racist hill to die on, considering the Georgia Bureau of Investigation confirmed that Arbery's white racist murderer called him a effing N-word. She has repeatedly insisted that the exonerated 5 of the Central Park jogger case are guilty, a contention countered by DNA evidence and the confession of the actual perpetrator. Owens blamed the September shooting of 2 LA police officers on what she labeled the hyperbolic, dishonest rhetoric of Black Lives Matter and LeBron James. That's who Kanye West supports and is in this photograph touting White Lives Matter. Indefensible behavior, wrote Gabriella Carefa-Johnson, the Vogue editor, on Instagram, later adding, "There is no excuse. There is no art here." Jaden Smith in the audience walked out. So did Lynette Nylander, the Day's writer and editor. It would be nice to swiftly dismiss the shirts as clout chasing, another stunt to mess with the status quo, to ruffle feathers, to challenge. Depending on your viewpoint, the shirts are either dumb, flippant, or dangerous. For me, they're empowering right-wing ideology, further enabling its airtime when we should be stamping it out. Objectively, white lives do matter. But Black Lives Matter was not, as a movement, a commentary on the value of a non-black person's life. Those 3 words came to symbolize many facets of the black experience, but the movement was, at its essence, focused on black mortality rates being higher, especially when black lives come into contact with law enforcement. Black Lives Matter was never anti-white, but advocating for racial parity, concentrating on criminal justice reform. Black Lives Matter because they're more at risk on the street, more at risk while getting arrested, more at risk in custody. This is not the same as saying white lives didn't or don't matter. It is simply redressing the imbalance. I'm sure Kanye West agrees, even if only broadly, on racial equality. but I'm afraid to say his White Lives Matter shirts won't help.